Okay, let's have our dear Laura. Laura, you ready to do three mantra? Laura?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please. Let's have three mantra from Laura.
Namo Vitaragai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loe Sabasahunan, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Savapavapanasano, Mangalanam Cha Sabesim, Padama Habai Mangalan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchitanam, Namo Vitaragai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loe Sabasahunan, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Savapavapanasano, Mangalanam Cha Sabesim, Padamang Habai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchitanam, Namo Vitaragai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loe Sabasahunam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Savapavapanasano, Mangalanam Cha Sabesim, Padamang Habai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevai, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchitanam, Jai Satchitanam.
Jai Satchitanand. Jai Satchitanand.
Jai Satchitanand.
Jai Satchitanand, Marcella and Cecilia, Gabi, Luz, Laura, Herman, and Christian. All right. So, good morning, Christian. Are you in Chile?
Yes, I'm in Chile, the Vishuddha.
Wonderful. From Chile to Madrid to Florida to Buenos Aires and everywhere. Isn't that a beautiful, amazing evidence of Vyavasthit for all of us, you see?
Okay,
yes.
I thought that, yeah.
Go on.
No, sorry, Sudha. Today, Laura translate, okay?
Oh, Laura is translating.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
All right, Yeah, you are all rotating. That's good. So everybody gets a chance to become part of the Dada team of Seva, right? Yes.
Yes, but Christian is here. If Laura wrong, por favor, Christian, si me equivoco, tú me das feedback, por favor.
Va a estar todo bien.
Yeah, sometimes in the relative we correct each other, and then our Pragnya is the final corrector.
Ya. Dice Sudha que algunas veces desde lo relativo nos corregimos, pero Pragnya es realmente el que corrige.
Yeah. Pragnya finally says, all right.
Sí.
Yeah,
Pragnya dice finalmente, todo está bien.
Pragnya says, go ahead and correct and do whatever is necessary to deliver the exact message of Dada, but do not become the deliverer. You are just an evidence in this vast ocean, in this vast universe of scientific circumstantial evidence.
Dice que Pragnya dice que hay que llevar el mensaje correcto de Dada, pero que el mensajero pues solo es un límite y lo demás son las evidencias científico-circunstanciales.
And when we allow scientific circumstantial evidence, then you begin to realize how beautiful this world is, you see.
Cuando nos rendimos, cuando vemos, dejamos todo en manos de las circunstancias, vemos lo maravilloso y lo bonito que es este mundo.
It is the insistence and the residual stickiness, insistence and residual stickiness of the ego that makes it difficult. Otherwise, it's a very easy, smooth world for all of us, is it not?
Dice que solo es difícil cuando nos quedamos en el apego residual que aún nos queda, pero cuando no estamos ahí, todo este mundo es muy bello.
Yeah, the residual stickiness is still part of the ignorance, you see. And it is still part of the belief that I am the doer, I'm doing this.
Este apego residual, este apego que aún queda, es parte de la ignorancia, parte de que aún creemos que somos este cuerpo.
But the stickiness is not real, you see, because it's part, it's built in the discharge. It is built in as part of the discharge. In other words, interference will happen, but the Pragnya is always there. The light of the self is always there. The awakened one is always there. And the awareness of the awakened one will allow us to see the interference. You cannot avoid interference, you see. We cannot avoid the interference of the ego. I am Carlos, I am Raman. It will happen, but to see and to know that this has happened is the release, you see.
Y en realidad este apego no existe, no es solamente la ignorancia. Entonces, si estamos en ver y conocer, todo irá bien.
Last Thursday I was in Satsang with our German friends, mahatmas, and I came across something just like that in evidence, and the words of Dada came, so I shared with them, and I thought it was important that I share those same words with you today. Today is our session of Vyavasthit. So before we begin our 71st session of Vyavasthit, I will share those words with you.
Vale, dice que ayer compartió algo con los mahatmas de Alemania cuando tuvo el Satsang y que no va a compartir con nosotros. Hoy en nuestra sesión 74 de Vyavasthit, sobre Vyavasthit, pero él va a compartir esto primero.
So this was a satsang of the 28th of June of 1970 in Mumbai. 50 years ago of our dearest Dada, and 50 years in the history of this world is nothing. It's just around the corner, And so I'm sharing those few lines with you.
Es de un satsang que Dada tuvo en 1970 en Bombay. Entonces va a compartir con nosotros algunas líneas de este satsang.
Yes. And it begins with Dadashri says, what has the Lord said after having received this Gnan? What has the Lord said after receiving this Gnan? To each one of us, what is the instruction of the Lord?
¿Qué nos dice el Lord después de recibir este Gnan? ¿Qué instrucciones nos da?
Dada says that the Lord has said that do not lose sight of the Gnani. I always keep him in sight. So wherever, be with him, you see. be with him. If he turns this way, you turn that way. If he turns that way, you turn that way. So be with him, you see. Be with him means, physically it means be with him means you go wherever he goes. You know, that's what the Lord has said.
Dice que lo que Dada dice sobre esto es que, perdón, sorry. Lo que Dada dice sobre esto es que tienes que estar con el Gnani, no solamente físicamente, y estar con el Gnani significa seguir al Gnani, ser consciente del Lord.
Yeah, you know, just do not leave him alone. In other words, just be around him, you see, physically be around him. Now, then Dada says, but this is Kali Yuga. And you all know Kali Yuga, so I will not define it further for you. And in that Kali Yuga, there are files. And inside those files are files. Inside every file, there is a file. So every file, inside every file, there is a file. There is a file inside every file.
Dice, pero Dada dice que, bueno, Dada dice que no estamos solos en esto, ¿no? Que estemos con el Gnani, pero Dada también dice que esto es Kali Yuga y entonces hay archivos, pero y dentro de los archivos hay archivos y dentro de esos archivos hay archivos. Entonces.
And so we give you freedom. Now, this is a critical sentence. We give you freedom. Freedom to go and settle those files. Go and take care of those files. They say, so, all right? Go take care of your files. Otherwise, you know, only then you can really be around me, can you not?
Vale, dice, entonces Dada dice, pero te doy la libertad. ¿La libertad para qué? La libertad para resolver estos archivos. Estate con tus archivos, resuelve estos archivos.
Yes, all right. So this files, you see. So now there's a gentleman, and he's an Indian gentleman who asks him a question. Dada, does ahar means intake, in that which goes inside this body is called ahar, and then that which comes out is called nihar and ahar.
Dice que un hombre le pregunta a Dada sobre ahar, y ahar es lo que está dentro de este cuerpo, y lo que está fuera es nihar.
Nihar means output. You say what happens in the morning in the bathroom, you say as output.
Dices, lo que sale por las mañanas en el baño es nihar.
Nihar, ahar, nihar. So Dada is asking, Dada, whatever this food, in simple terms, this food, and there are three categories, there are three types of foods. Now he is simply saying, tamasic, these are all Ayurvedic words, so tamas, and tamasic. Then the second word is sattvic, and the third word is rajasic. You see, these three types of whatever goes inside our body is one of these three categories: tamas, sattvic, or rajasic food. You see, tamas means heavy, heavy fat laden, heavy duty food that puts you to sleep, heavy amounts of food that puts you to sleep, whether it could be, it could be meat, or it could be just a lot of butter and that kind of food that after you have eaten, it feels like, it makes you feel like you want to go to sleep. That's called tamasic, you see. You don't feel like doing anything, you see. You want to go to bed, you want to lie down a little bit,
Os dice que esta persona le preguntó sobre las 3 categorías de las comidas, y son las palabras que ha escrito ahí: tamasic, sattvic y rajasic. Perdón, tamasic es aquello que es pesado y que te hace estar dormido. Y dice, por ejemplo, la comida, pero por ejemplo la carne, no solamente la carne, pero por ejemplo la carne te hace volver a dormir.
Okay. Then sattvic is in real sense neutral food. In other words, fruits, vegetables, like light food, the food that is just needed to sustain the body, you see, to just give you enough calories to keep you going, you see. And it does not go either in this direction, nor does it take you in this direction. In sattvic means, sattvic is considered right kind of food for human beings, sattvic, you see. Right means it does not depress you, it does not, nor does it elevate you or excite you. Sattvic.
Sattvic es una comida neutra, es lo que Dada llama una comida neutra. Los vegetales, por ejemplo, aquello que nos ayuda a sostener el cuerpo, ¿no? El cuerpo necesita alimentarse. Entonces, aquello que ayuda a sostenerlo, pero que no lo hace bajar, no lo hace entrar en depresión o en dormir, ni lo hace elevarse o excitarse.
And sattvic, you see,
Entonces es la comida correcta por la
correct.
que se debe comer.
It's the right means it. There are campfires. You and I have gone to the campfires on, in cold days, outside. We are at a beach, and everybody decides, okay, let's have a campfire in the night, and you gather some wood, and then everybody sits down around it, you see, and then they light a fire. Now you do not light a huge fire, you just put enough amount of logs or wood in it so that everybody around gets the heat, you see, just the right amount of heat, you see. And then when it comes down a little bit, you add a little bit more, and so you just get enough heat. So as necessary it is added, as necessary it is added.
Dice, es correcto en el sentido, y hace un símil con el fuego, ¿no? Si hace un día frío en la playa, por ejemplo, y todos están alrededor de una hoguera, de un fuego, todos estarán calentitos, pero es necesario ir añadiendo de vez en cuando leña o lo que sea para que el fuego se mantenga y todos nos mantengamos calientes. Pues igual con el cuerpo, ¿no? Es ese poquito de leña que añadimos a fuego, pues ese poquito de comida que el cuerpo necesita para estar estable.
So that was sattvic ahar, and then rajasic ahar. Rajas is that which excites you, that which stimulates you, you see. That which stimulates you. You see, so food which stimulates you to activity and a lot of different things. You see, it doesn't make you sleepy, but it stimulates you. And in this, that which excites sexual passions is also rajasic food, you see, In other words, it stimulates you, you see.
Y la comida rajasic es aquella que te estimula, que te emociona, que no te hace dormir, no te hace deprimirte, pero te hace estar demasiado elevado, y también aquella que ayuda a que las pasiones sexuales se fomenten o se incrementen.
That which excites the taste buds, and you want more, you go in that direction, excitation, you see. Now, so in essence, this gentleman is asking, and these are the three categories of food, and And he is asking, Dada, this 3 categories of food, does it have any effect on Amapura, on the pure soul?
Dice que la pregunta de este Mahatma que le hizo a Dada es si esas 3 categorías afectan al alma pura, si le influyen.
And Dadashri's answer is, there is absolutely no effect of any of these foods on the Amapura. It has 0 effect, no effect on the Amapura. Okay?
Dada le contestó que no, de ninguna manera, ninguna de estas comidas afecta al alma pura.
And,
No hay ningún efecto.
and he says, why? Because we are, and he includes Mahatmas and himself, we are Nirahari. Nirahari means we are the non-eaters. We do not eat. We're not, now we are the non-eaters. You see, we are Nirahari. You see, Harman may be taking a mate and Shuddha may be drinking the tea, but this is Harman and Shuddha are doing it. Harman and Shuddha are doing it. I am Nirahari. I am not taking the tea.
Dice, ¿y por qué Sudha dice, o sea, y por qué Dada dijo que no? Dice, porque nosotros no somos Nirahari, y Nirahari es el que no come. Entonces, como no somos el que come, no nos puede afectar. Dice, Germán está tomando mate y Sudha toma té, pero son Germán y Sudha, no el alma pura.
Yeah, so
can I make a question about that? Perdón, quiero hacer una pregunta a la interrupción de eso.
That's fine.
Le quiero preguntar qué pasa con el Pragnya, porque nosotros somos alma pura, pero lo que nos llega a nosotros, el del medio es el que nos avisa, la conciencia que nosotros tenemos, independientemente que estemos separados. So I want to ask, what happens with the Pragnya? Do food affect the Pragnya? It's obviously that affects the relative, but what happens with the Pragnya? What happens with the middle one?
Pragnya is the energy. Pragnya is not affected by this. Pragnya is not affected. Pragnya's role is to inform Shuddha, Christian, Arman, and this is what Dadashri, Pragna's, and Dadashri's answer is not completed, but let me just, in Pragna's role is to just inform, to see that this is happening, that tamasic food is going in, sattvic food is going in, or a rajasic food is going in, and these are the results of those foods, you see. In other words, Pragna's role is to continue to know this, that this is happening. Pragnya does not warn. Pragnya does not warn in saying that this is wrong or this is right. It is simply there is one step that the other introduces, that what the Pragnya knows, what the soul, the intermediate awakened soul knows is, see, in this food went in, and now you have to tell Christians, see, this food went in, and this is the result of this, and it is your result, not my result. That is Pragna's role. It is your result. Now and see, this food went in, and this is your result. Pragna's role is to remain the knower and the seer only, and remain unaffected in this, you see. At the most, there is one small step that you can say, that you keep on eating this kind of food, the effect it has on you, you see. You are having this food, this is the effect. Before our Gnanvidhi, we had zero idea. We just pile it in, put it in. Now this Pragnya just knows that this is what happened and this is what happened. That's all. Pragnya just knows. You see, Pragnya keeps you as a knower only. It's the intellect which says, okay, let me investigate now what happened. How come I'm feeling so full and how come I'm feeling so sleepy? You see? All right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Laura.
Cristian pregunta sobre Pragnya, si a Pragnya le afecta estos tres tipos de comida, y Shuddha dice que no, porque el rol de Pragnya es solamente observar y decirnos, esta comida te hace esto, esta comida te hace lo otro, esta comida te hace aquello. Solamente observar el resultado, solamente te da la información. ¿Vale? Entonces, entonces lo que Dada dice aquí es, dile al archivo 1, dile a Cristian que esto está sucediendo, ¿no? Que tomó una comida que le hace dormir o que tomó una comida que le hace aquello. Pero Pragnya solo permanece en el rol del conocedor observador.
Pragna's role is to keep you as who am I, that's all. And to show you in exactness what is happening without opinions, no opinions. This is what is happening. This is what is happening. See? What has been Pragnya does not interfere. Pragnya keeps you as the self. So Amapura, you see. And Pragna's role is to lift you up. Pragna's role is to lift you up from this becoming involved in what is happening to Christian. Pragna's role is to avoid the Tanmayakar. That is the only role of Pragnya. You see? Then the intellect will show us this, because of this happened. Because of when you had a nice salad and maybe a little soup and a piece of bread, you feel good and fresh, and when you feel hungry again, put a little more food, you just put a little more food, just enough to keep the body going, so that you don't sleep for 3 hours, in the daytime. You see that, the intellect is the one who makes the decisions about what has happened, you see. Intellect is the one who makes the decisions of how, when, why, what, etc. Pragnya is the light of the self, Ama, that you are now. You are that. You are that. See? Okay, go on.
Yeah. Dice que el rol de Pragnya es solo mantenerte como el ser, mantenerte en la conciencia de que eres el ser. Y te eleva para no involucrarte en todo esto que está haciendo el archivo 1. Intelecto, el que se involucra. Y entonces te dice, el intelecto es el que decide si debe dormir 3 horas durante el día o no. Pero Pragnya te tiene como el conocedor observador de esto. Solamente ese es su rol, mantenerte en la conciencia de quién eres.
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta? ¿Pragnya tiene todos los mismos atributos del alma pura? ¿O los atributos del alma pura están en el alma pura y de ahí sale esta luz, esta energía hacia nosotros?
Luz asking if Pragnya have the same attributes as alma pura or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sí.
Almost the same. It's a representative of the Lord. It is only the Lord, but the Lord has sent out a representative, you see, with full powers. The Lord, the absolute self, cannot is simply there, but this one has said, go now and settle the files with equanimity and come home. That's all. Go and settle these files with equanimity and come home. It is, you are part of me now, but you see this man here called Damian or Shuddha, they are still kind of involved in all of these things. You say, I am Pura, I am pure soul, they're involved, they need to now be told they are pure souls, just get out, this is pure souls. You are not being affected, you are not eating, you are not fighting, you are not the one who is doing all of these things. Get out. That is the energy of Pragnya. You see? That is the energy of Pragnya. It's like the king, when the king or the king has got many, many kingdoms, many, many little places, villages and towns. King cannot go everywhere. So he sends the representative out with full authority and power of attorney. Go and tell the mayor and tell this and tell everyone, that I'm here now. I'm the representative of the king, and this is the order of the king. This is the direction of the king. And so everybody shuts up, everybody in that town shuts up. Oh, it's the king's representative has come, you see. And then everybody shuts up in the village. Otherwise they're fighting, doing all of those little things. The king's representative comes, gives the final directions. Everybody shuts up. Work is done, the files are settled, goes to the next one, goes to the next one. Settling the file is the fundamental inner warning of Pragnya. Pragnya, when Christian is fighting with somebody, Pragnya is the one who tells him, hey, what's going on? Come on, settle the file, let it go, you see. That little warning is Pragnya. That little one that tells Christian, and inside it arises, oh Sama, Pura, this is Vyavasthit. This is relative. That is Pragnya. That Pragnya has been given in instruction form in these 5 Agnyas, you see. It's Pragnya, that's Pragnya. What allows you to employ and apply the 5 Agnyas is Pragnya. Sorry, Laura, I'm speaking too much.
No, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Dice que no, que para nada. O sea, que sí, que la Pragnya tiene absolutamente los mismos atributos que tiene el alma pura, porque es la representación del Señor dentro de nosotros, es la representación del ser en nosotros. Y es la que te dice que resuelvas tus archivos y que vuelvas a casa, resuelve tus archivos, dile al archivo 1 que resuelva tus archivos y vuelve a casa. Dice, es como un rey que tiene muchos reinos, muchos pueblos, pero no está en cada uno de ellos, sino que manda un representante a cada uno de ellos para que mantenga la paz y resuelva las luchas que puedan haber. Y todo el pueblo, la gente que vive allí, sabe que, ese es el representante del rey, hay que hacerle caso. Si no está el representante, se pelean entre ellos, pero si el representante dice hacia dónde hay que ir, cómo hay que hacer, saben que es el representante del rey y lo van a seguir. Esta es la función de Pragnya, hacer del representante del Lord, y por tanto tiene los mismos atributos que tenga el Señor. Y además nos da las 5 agnas y es la que nos ayuda a usar las 5 agnas y a enfocarnos en las 5 agnas. Es la que cada mañana le dice a Christian, tú eres alma pura y el resto es relativo. Tú no eres el resto.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. So, Pragnya gives you the warning, and the intellect change the conduct?
The intellect doesn't change the intellect, and the ego is constantly trying to adjust one way or the other. There is nothing called change in the final analysis. What has been programmed in the SCV, the scientific evidences of this complex called Christian will happen. You have decided so much that enough, I'm not going to eat it, but somebody says, come on, it's good for you, you can diet later on. So he says, okay, here, go ahead, and I put it in. You see, evidence is what is the reason why this thing goes in. The problem is you say, I am eating. That's where the problem is. You say, I am eating, I am denying, I don't put it in. You see, this Pragna's role is to really kind of absolutely hold the light of Amapura. Not only the light of Amapura, but hold you in the experience of who you are and remove you from what you are. Move you away from what you are into the exactness of who you are. You see, in a restaurant, you are the eater. In a bedroom, you are the sleeper. You see, in a flight, you are a passenger, etc. So Pragna's role is to really kind of get you back in terms of where you are, who you are. That's all. That's all the role of Pragnya. You see.
Cristian preguntó que vale que Pragnya no se involucra, pero entonces el intelecto es el que hace que la conducta cambie cuando Pragnya le hace ver lo que es erróneo. Y dice Shuddha, no exactamente, es debido a las circunstancias que esto cambia o no, porque el intelecto puede decidir, ya no voy a tomar más esta comida, pero entonces alguien viene y te ofrece, mira, esto va a ser bueno para ti, está muy bueno, y entonces vuelves a caer y vuelves a tomar la comida, pero Pragnya te vuelve a decir, tú no eres el que comiste, esto es erróneo. El problema está en cuando sigues pensando que eres el que come. Ahí está el problema, pero Pragnya te saca de ahí. Y además te ayuda a experimentar quién eres realmente, no solamente te ayuda a permanecer separado y te ayuda a las 5 agnas, sino que te ayuda a experimentar un poco de quién realmente eres.
Yes, Pragna's role is to get back into 5 agnas. Yes, that's all. That's the role of Pragnya. Pragnya has no other role. Its only role is to make sure that you settle the files with equanimity. Pragnya will flash and let you know that this file needs to be settled. But then again, what has been programmed inside Christian or Shuddha is, he will still end up fighting with that file, you see. And Pragnya comes back again after the fight is over and says, Eoso Amapura. And that other person is Amapura too. No revenge, no negativity there. You say, Pragnya is present. Pragnya is always there. You see, Pragnya cannot be wiped off. And it increases more as you settle the file. As you settle the file, it gives you more energies. Sometimes it's a tough file, so there is a penance inside, But Pragnya, that's when Pragnya really helps you a lot. He's hurting me, but I am like the Lord. No, I'm not going to fight back. That inner penance is Pragnya in operation, really. Otherwise, inner penance will not happen, What the hell? Why are you doing this? Here you go. Here, And so you hit the other person back, you see. Pragnya is the energy that keeps you into who you are. The blissful one of Dada, the pure one of Dada, you see.
El único rol de Pragnya es hacernos regresar a los 5 agnas y asegurarse de que resolvemos todos nuestros archivos, porque Cristian, Shuddha están programados, y un programa puede ser que estén luchando y pelean con alguien o discuten con alguien, pero entonces Pragnya te hace volver, no, tú no eres eso, no luches, nunca, y Pragnya nunca te deja. Puede que no seas consciente, pero nunca te deja, y su conciencia aumenta o su presencia aumenta según vas resolviendo archivos. Nos ayuda un montón, y cuando alguien quizás nos daña, es la que te dice, no, esto es tu penitencia interna. Él en realidad te está ayudando. Pragnya, el rol de Pragnya es solo hacernos ver quién realmente somos y ayudarnos a mantener ahí.
Yes. I want to give you the very specific sentence that follows, in this answer of Dada. And I'm going to type this up. That
Sudha va a escribir en el chat la frase exacta de la respuesta de Dada a continuación.
The ahari, okay? And this is a sentence, Dadashri says, does not have any effect on Niyamapura, but this tamasi food that has gone in, with tamasi food, you, Christian, you, Shuddha, will be prone to anger, you see, and then you remain the knower and the seer. You see, in other words, you say that is the only middle step that Dadashri gives us, which may come in or which may not come in, you see, while you're eating, you see. When you're eating too many, a very large cake, you can say, well, this is going to, the effect of this is you're going to feel sleepy afterwards. Now, you can say that to the one who is the eater, you see. You say, you're eating this, just like you would tell your friend, you're eating this big cheesecake, you're going to feel sleepy afterwards. Now that's all. And you then remain the knower and the seer. That's all. That because, and why can you say that? Is because Pragnya has the experience of the self, you see. Pragnya is part of the experience of the Amapura. It has not just risen out of nowhere. It has replaced intellect. It is the experience of the Amapura that has risen by 2 full %. It is actually absolute knowledge that has arisen within you now, you see. That is beyond this body activities, you see. The body does this and the body does this. The Ama inside knows now what's going on. Really knows. It's part of the experience, you see. And it is not an intellect-based experience. It is the experience of the self.
Dice que no, estas 3 tipos de comidas no afectan al alma pura, pero hacen que el archivo 1 sea más propenso o entre en la ira o en cualquiera de los otros kasais. Dice, pero Pragnya te dice, solo permanece como el conocedor observador. Dice, y además te dice, tú ya sabes el efecto. Dices como cuando le dices a un amigo que se está comiendo un gran trozo de tarta. Ya sabes qué te va a suceder con ese trozo de tarta. Vas a tener que dormir de nuevo. Entonces dice, pero tú no, pero Pragnya te dice, solamente te lo dice, pero sin juicio, solamente te dice esto es lo que va a pasar si haces esto. Pero permanece como conocedor observador de que el archivo 1 está haciendo eso y que sabe qué va a pasar cuando hace eso.
Our true treasure, our true real treasure is our awareness, you see. new awareness that arises because of who I am. I am not Dhamyan, I am Amapura, and it is not words anymore, you see. It is not words. I am not Marcella, I am so Amapura, you see. And that is the awareness that is applied. That awareness gets applied in all of these activities that have been programmed into this mind, speech, body complex. So, it will by habit will say something that will be hurtful, and the awareness will tell you that this is not correct. You see, that's all. It will just say this is not correct. You see, but there is no correction. The awareness is the correction. You become aware, and that is the correction. You see, it's a light that allows you to correct it.
Y ahora tienes una nueva conciencia de quién realmente eres. Y sabes quién realmente eres, conoces quién realmente eres. Esto es la conciencia. Entonces se enfoca en esa conciencia en cada acción del cuerpo, en la mente, el habla, el cuerpo. Enfoca en esa conciencia de quién eres. La conciencia no es que sea esto no es correcto. ¿Vale? No hay corrección, la conciencia te dice que hay y que no hay, pero no que es correcto o no.
I see, now then Dada's final sentence in this answer is that this Dada's Gnan is such that it it's such, I'm trying to translate the exact words, this Dada's Gnan is such that it keeps you absolutely nirlep. Nirlep means nothing can touch you. Nothing touches you, you see. This is the knowledge, you see. Nothing touches you. It keeps you unaffected in this ocean of impurities, you see, in this ocean of rights and wrongs and bad and good conduct and bad conduct and, good effects and bad effects, good effects and bad effects. In all of that, it keeps you absolutely unaffected and pure. This is the knowledge of Dada, and this is the reason why we are in this satsang. You see, satsang, the reason for this satsang is to get this in exactness, you see.
Entonces, Shuddha dio una frase al principio que es la que ha escrito, entonces dice, mantente absolutamente nirlep. Y nirlep es que nada te puede tocar.
Yes, you see, and when the word nirlep comes in, then and then the word this of the sentence of the Gnan Vidi comes in, which is lepaiman bhavo e jarna bhavo che e chetanna bhavo nati. These things that tend to anoint and then to stick to you, that I ate the wrong food and I ate the right food and I did the right thing and I did the wrong thing. These views of the right and the wrong are the views of the Nishchetan Chetan or the Jad. You see, that which has been formed. You see, that which has been formed is Prakriti. And Tamam le paiman bhavo the, and they are not the bhavos, they are not the views, and they are not of the self, Chetan. Self means Chetan, you see. Le paiman bhavo e jada na bhavo che. In other words, these are all of the Nischetan Chetan, you know, and you have all been through this entire parayana about this thing that is in front of us. All of us, what appears in front of us is Nischetan Chetan. This is the program, how it was programmed. Shuddha and Laura were programmed to do, you know, deliver a little satsang. You know, all of these things is programmed activity that is arising. Amapura is Amapura, pure inside, you see.
Y Sudha pronunciaba la frase del Charambidi que dice que ante todo aquello que intenta mantenernos involucrados, nosotros nos mantenemos como el conocedor observador de ello. Y es lo que está escribiendo abajo, ¿no? Y dice, esto que vemos aquí es Nischetan Chetan, y hemos tenido un maravilloso parayana sobre lo que es esto.
Yeah, so, you know, this Nischetan Chetan really means that now there is the knower and the seer. The knower and the seer has separated, come out, absolutely separated from this Christian or Shuddha complex now. Before it was mixed and was saying, I know. Now the knower is out. And what is left is the programmed structure machine from past life, you see, and discharging. Sometimes the discharge is smooth and sometimes the discharge is rocky and troublesome, and then it becomes smooth again. That, you see, that's all. But I, the knower, is who I am. This is who I am. And this one, Shuddha, is what is now needs to be settled with equanimity, you see. Settle with equanimity.
Este Nischetan Chetan es realmente el conocedor, observador de todo lo que somos. Es realmente el que conoce. Y entonces solamente queda ver lo que Sudha hace y que Sudha resuelva sus archivos.
Yeah, okay, yes, Gabi. Sound, we can't hear your sound.
¿Escucha? Ahí.
Yeah.
Sí.
Esta dificultad que hay para separar al pragnya de la conciencia, como conciencia a la que como archivo 1 siempre se estuvo como acostumbrado, que es como esta voz interna que te decía como siempre separando lo que es bueno de lo que es malo. Eso era como lo más, tal vez, lo más espiritual que uno tenía antes de la separación. Y ahora tenemos solo estos ojos que no tienen opinión, que no tienen lenguaje en el fondo, sino que es solo observación. Esta dificultad para poder separar esto se termina solo con la práctica de los 5 agnas.
Okay, Gabi, question is, before none, we usually use the intellect, the file 1, to separate the good actions, good things, to wrong action or bad actions. Now we know that is no good or bad, not opinion, but we have the difficult to apply this knowledge. We continue wrong, good, bad. This difficulty finish with the practice, with the apply 5 agnas, or when?
Yes, my dear. You see now, yes, you're right. Before Gnani, it is the intellect that was separating this is right, this is wrong, and everybody's intellect. There are as many intellects as there are human beings in this world, all over the world, billions and billions. Everybody's intellect is different. Who is right and who is wrong in terms of what the intellect decides? You see? What one person says in one country, the other person will say it's totally wrong. Whose intellect is right? You see? And, excuse me, just a minute. Yeah, you know, go on, translate it while I just connect the power. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Dice que ¿quién dice qué intelecto es correcto, ¿no? En un país puede ser una cosa correcta y en otro sitio puede ser otra cosa correcta. Entonces, ¿quién decide qué intelecto es el correcto?
But this is how the relative world operates. The relative world operates on the basis of what, you know, the intellect decides and what the ego does, you see. And that is how it is in the relative world. And in that, you know, the learning is that the path of least resistance is the path in which the least number of people are hurt. In other words, the lesser the pain to others, the easier the path, you see. And that is the learning before the Gnani Vidhi. After the Gnani Vidhi, intellect is not needed because now you got Pragnya, you see. Pragnya is the light of the self which allows you to get out of it all, you see. Right or wrong is part of the relative, you see. And so when you say relative, then even if it is wrong view or right, you're done with it. You see, it's relative. It's all relative, and this is how it is. The world is the puzzle itself, and there are two viewpoints to solve this puzzle, one real and one relative. Otherwise, this puzzle will never, never, never get solved, you see. You know, and so the 5 Agnas is the new beautiful instruction that is given to the awakened one of Dada after the experience of who am I is given. Otherwise it doesn't work, you see. He has to be lifted up. You have to be lifted up out of the Gabi complex, and then you are given the Agnas, you see. You are not Gabi. Gabi is a formed complex that is now unfolding with the desires and the denials in this world. Desires unfulfilled, denials forced upon you by the society, wrong, 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 you know, and you're done with all of this, you know. Now what remains is settle the file of Gabi with equanimity. You are the knower and seer, and scientific circumstantial evidences will settle the file of Gabi. You know, evidences will settle the file, you see. Not you. Sorry, go on. Yeah, go
Sí.
on, Laura.
Sí, Sudha dice que antes no tenías la conciencia, no tenías porque no estaba Pragnya, entonces no sabías quién realmente eras. Y entonces ahora Pragnya te dice que esto es solo relativo y entonces que solo hay 2 puntos de vista. Esto es real y yo soy relativo, nada más. Y estas 5 agnas que Dada estas maravillosas instrucciones que Dada nos las da solamente después de darnos el conocimiento de quién realmente somos. No las da antes, solamente después de eso. Antes éramos uno con los deseos, con todo esto. Y ahora sabemos que tenemos que permanecer como el conocedor observador y resolver todos los archivos, pero no somos nosotros quien resuelve los archivos, son las evidencias quien resuelven los archivos.
You know, yeah.
Entonces, los 5 agnas lo que nos ayudan es a acortar este tiempo que existe entre el estar identificado con el archivo 1 y el reconocernos y volver a la conciencia de lo que somos. ese tiempo que demoramos o que nos pasamos absortos en el archivo 1 es lo que finalmente se va a ir reduciendo, o es lo que se ha ido reduciendo con esta práctica de los 5 ajnas. Esta conciencia es cada vez más superpuesta con lo que ocurre en el fondo. Es como estás llorando o estás deprimiéndote por algo o algo te pasó, y entonces viene el pragnya y a veces se demora 20 minutos en que te pasaste pegado con el archivo 1 odiando algo o reclamando algo, y el pragnya se demoró 20 minutos en traerte de vuelta al recuerdo de quién eres. Y hay otros momentos en que el pragnya te recuerda al minuto y medio. Esos tiempos son los que finalmente van a ir variando en la medida que nos vayamos iluminando. Va a llegar un momento en que el pragnya va a estar ahí montado en cada evento o en cada circunstancia que tengamos que vivir. Perdona.
Yeah. No hay problema. Gaby said, then applying 5 ajnas, the time that we have involved or sticky with the file 1 is less, is few, because sometimes we are awareness after 1 day or after 20 minutes, and sometimes it's immediately, it's just minute. Entonces, the time is going less when we apply the 5 ajnas and have more conscious, more awareness.
Absolutely. So, yes, applying the 5 ajnas, that is why, because this is the new knowledge and the new experience that has happened for all of us, and the conviction is 100% that Eosamapura. Now, the instructions, the exact instructions are that you have to apply the 5 ajnas, you see. And so in every situation that arises, and in every circumstance that arises, the 5 ajnas may not be applied, especially when you are becoming involved in it, but that is how it was programmed. But after the event is over, you are always there as the awakened one. You say you are always there as I am Amapura. You don't have to say I am Amapura. So you were in fact in ajnas, but in the application of the ajnas, when the ajnas are applied, especially when it is a file that needs to be settled with equanimity, that is when really the ajna has to be really kind of brought in very significantly, you see. And on one side you want to apply, you want to remain Amapura, and on the other side is the force of this file, you see, force of this file. And no matter how forceful it is, this one in the middle will say, oh, I forgot to apply the ajna. But that is, you're still in ajnas because your intention to be in ajnas is there. You want intention to settle the file of equanimity is therefore you are forgiven. Even if it later on immediately says, oh, I should have, but you are back. This cannot be, no matter how much this jumps around, this cannot be touched. This one, the pure soul energy and the pragnya cannot be touched. This thing will happen, this one remains. That is the beauty of who we are. And that is the beauty of the experience of the self. This is who I am. You see, this is who I am. Everything will get destroyed. Now you will be there still, you see. You will not, And then later on, this, through satsang, through awareness, through applications, every application rises, this light becomes more powerful, the pragna becomes more powerful. Dada's is completely there, 356, 358 degrees. We are rising from 300 to 345, maybe, you know, we in this life, we can go up to 345, you know, where, you know, you get a clear experience of the self, nothing touches you, whatever happens, you're not touched, you know. And so we are all progressing in this direction, you see. There is no right, there is no wrong. You know, yes, at the lower levels, you say, correct your opinion and go positive and do this and don't do this, but recognize that that is not the role, that is not your role, that is happening, you see. We are not misusing this Gnan, we are not abusing, we are not misusing this Gnan. This is how it is. I just gave you the 3 sentences of Dada, you know. There's zero effect of the food. You just have to tell the one who is eating, hey, this is going to, you know, this will lead to this. It's up to you, you know. He may listen and he may not listen. She may listen and she may not listen. You see, that's how it is.
Dice que sí, absolutamente, según vayamos estando más en las asnas, este tiempo que hablabas se acortará, porque lo que tenemos ahora es el 100% de la convicción de que somos alma pura, pero solo, como hablaba antes, el 2% de pragnya. Entonces dice, no podrás aplicar las asnas, sobre todo si estás muy involucrado en lo que está sucediendo, pero incluso ahí, en ese no poder aplicar las asnas, tienes la conciencia de que tienes la intención de querer aplicar las asnas. Entonces realmente no te perdiste, porque incluso cuando dices que no estás aplicando las asnas, realmente sí las estás aplicando, porque tienes la intención. Y lo más importante es que, independientemente de lo que pase, la belleza de esta ciencia es que nada te está tocando realmente a ti, absolutamente nada. Y estar en Satsang, intentar aplicar los 5 agnas, hacer las oraciones, todo esto hará que la luz de Pragnya cada vez aumente más. Y quizás en esta vida, decía Shuddha, lleguemos a los 345 grados, quién sabe, ¿no? Entonces, y no estaremos en lo que es correcto o no es correcto. Y no importa lo que el otro diga o la otra diga, nosotros hablaremos y no importa si el archivo uno escucha o no. Pragnya va a estar ahí.
There's much more coming, you know. In this same satsang, there's very beautiful lines coming, which I will share with you. I intended to do the Vyavasthit part with you, but this is all part of Vyavasthit, my friends. So let's take a break and then we come back and we give Laura a break too. And yes, then we come back to Damian, all right, after the break. Okay, Damian? Yeah, all right, wonderful. So
hacemos un break y después puede tomar el relevo Damian.
All right, okay, 10 minutes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Laura.
Gracias, Lauri. Gracias.
Okay. Wonderful translations going on with our dear Laura. Thank you, my dear Laura. Yes. All right. Good to see Yaya there, and
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand Shuddhatma Bhagwan. Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand. Yes. Okay. All right. So let us go with our dear Damian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. First in Spanish and then in English.
Yeah.
Okay. Bueno, al principio de este camino, yo siempre pensaba, bueno, soy alma pura, pero ¿dónde está el alma pura? ¿Cómo hago para ver la separación? ¿Cómo será? Y después está esta oración del Sira Stuti que dice, ni una sola propiedad del mía está en el yo, y ninguna propiedad del yo está en mí. Entonces, eso me hacía pensar que el alma estaba en un lugar separado de todo lo que yo puedo ver y tocar y registrar. Y luego está este concepto de Pragnya, que es, me parece, el único signo que tenemos de nuestra alma pura. ¿Y cómo lo puedo llevar a la práctica? Es diciendo, bueno, ¿qué es este Pragnya? Yo lo veo como este cambio de preferencias que estoy teniendo, por ejemplo, que la única lectura que me interesa es el Aptavani y el Dadavani, que me tomo un avión, me cruzo el planeta para estar 5 minutos con el Gnani. Es esa iluminación que uno no sabe bien, no la puedes explicar a tus amigos, ¿no? Y bueno, quería saber si esa era una interpretación correcta de lo que es el Pragnya. Así que I'll go in English. Shuddha, at the beginning of this path, when I took the Gnan, I always wondered, what is this separation? Where is the pure soul? Why I cannot feel it? And then there was this Siddha Stuti sentence that says, not one property of mine is in I, and vice versa. So I began to think that I was not able to feel my pure soul or to see or to touch and then is this pragnya that maybe is the only signal we might understand or touch or see that we are pure souls. And in practice is this change of tastes that the only reading that I'm interested in now is the Aptavani and Dadavani. And if I have 2 minutes, I see satsangs, or I take a plane just to be 5 minutes with the Gnani and cross the planet just to be 5 minutes with the Gnani. Is this the pragnya? Am I correct in what I'm understanding by now?
Mm-hmm. The part which wants you to go back to the words of Dada and connect you with the words of Dada is Pragnya in operation, you see. It is no longer words in a book or on the internet. This is you. This is, you're merging, that part you're merging with Dada. Dada doesn't mean this physical person, nor does the Gnani mean the physical person, you see. It is the one who is kind of in the continuous experience of who I am, Amapura, I'm Amapura. He's in the experience of Amapura, and that part which draws you to Satsang, to the words of Dada, to receive them with all love, those sentences of Dada that when you read and you say, wow, I've never ever read these before, all of that is you merging with Dada, which is, Dada means absolute self, that part you're merging with the eternal one, the real one, you see. Sorry, go on, Laura. Yeah, then we continue.
Sudha lo que contesta es que dice que la parte que te hace volver a Dada, que te hace leer los libros de Dada, eso exactamente es Pragnya, sí. Y esa parte emerge de Dada, que no es el cuerpo físico que se muestra ahí, sino que es la experiencia del alma pura. Y esas frases de Dada que lees y dices, wow, nunca leí nada igual, esto es eso, que te hace sentir eso es Pragnya.
Yeah. Yes, because, and it is very subtle, it cannot be shown to the world. It is, at the end of the whole day, with having gone through all the motions of life, interacting with files, taking care of file 1, everything. At the end of the day, when you lie down, or, when you are by yourself, you open the iPad or, the book, and you read a few sentences of Dada, that is the coming home part. That is what is Pragnya in operation. It brings you home, you see. And then these other things about running around after the Gnani, that is, if favorable, it works very well, you go, initially there is this amazing pull towards the Gnani because, he is special and, he pulls you, but then this inner force, this other thing that you're describing about, these words of Dada, these are the ultimate, they're not print words, they are live Dada within you. Dada within you, pulling you towards him, otherwise known as Pragnya. You see, Pragnya at 356 degrees is much more powerful than our Pragnya at 300 degrees, you see, and so that is the magnetic attraction. You see, now Adamian his face was towards the world, is turned towards Dada, and all he's doing is he wants to become one with Dada, means become home, final home. You see, you're already home, and that is Pragnya. Pragnya is operating and telling you, you and I, you're Vishuddhatma, you're pure soul, I'm pure soul. Pragnya is telling you, I'm pure soul. Settle these files, finish these files. Some files are long, some files are complicated, some files, create difficulties, but ultimately it is that force that is the liberating energy of the self, of Dada. This is the liberating energy, and everything else is Agnya Shakti, the ugly Agnya Shakti, UGNYA, Agnya Shakti pulls you outside and says, let's enjoy this vacation, let's go there, I haven't seen this part of the world, let's go there, And you go to that beach and you go to that hotel and you say, what am I now? So what? No, so what's more? You try some different foods, you meet different people, so what more? What more? Pragnya is essentially telling you, finish it. It's your file, just be done with it. You want it, finish it. You want it, finish it.
And at the same time, it's not any effort. It's just a way of seeing things differently. If you change your anteojos, you change your
glasses.
It's some change of glasses. It's not an effort of the ego of trying to go or trying to
yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the evidences that are favorable for you to be around the Gnani, and you are not saying, what's there, If the evidences are favorable, you go, and but recognize that with the Gnani again, you are going to get the words of Dada only. You're not going to get anything else, you see, This, and of course, the other thing is all the running around, all this a part of the experiences, instead of going to an expensive vacation, you may go to, say, some other city where you have to put up with some difficulties, but this is all part of adjustments, you see, or, so it is beautiful because the Gnani reminds you of who you are, really, that's all, the Gnani's role is to really see the pure in you, and you are supposed to see the pure in everything. The Gnani, around the Gnani, it is easier to apply 5 agnas, but ultimately the 5 agnas will have to be applied wherever you are, whether you are around the Gnani or whether you are away from the Gnani, you see. So yeah, it's fine, it's beautiful. We all were like that. We did not, in the initial years, we did not want to leave Niruma, we were so, we would forget the world when Niruma was around us, and that is how.
Sorry, Sudha. I translate because it's so long.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's
No,
okay.
no
You don't have to apologize. Yeah.
Lo que Sudha decía. No. Lo Sudha decía es que es muy sutil este Pragnya, ¿no? Y entonces cuando surgen interacciones con otras personas, surgen emociones, ira, apego, lo que sea que surja, pero al final del día vuelves a tu casa y lees unas palabras de Dada y entonces dices, estoy en mi hogar, regresé. Realmente nunca te fuiste, pero tienes la sensación de que te fuiste. Y esto es Pragnya, esto es lo que nos da Pragnya. Y estar con el Gnani es lo que nos impulsa, estar alrededor del Gnani. Y además nos atrae hacia él, ¿no? Cuando Damián hace algo, da igual, te gira otra vez hacia el Gnani. Esto es lo que hace Pragnya. Y te dice, resuelve tus archivos, no importa que sean difíciles. Además es la energía liberadora del ser. Y hablaba otra vez Sudha de Agnya Sakti, ¿vale? Que es lo que nos hace enfocarnos fuera, la energía que nos hace enfocarnos fuera. Voy de vacaciones, venga, unas buenas vacaciones. Y entonces vas al sitio de vacaciones y dices, ¿y ahora qué hago? Voy a probar una comida nueva. Entonces Sudha decía, si gastas unas vacaciones caras, quizás luego no puedas ir a mandar sitios. Entonces toma estos ajustes, ¿no? Adáptate, porque quizás tengas que hacerlo. Es favorable estar cerca del Gnani si las circunstancias se dan. El Gnani es el que te recuerda y además estando cerca del Gnani es mucho más fácil aplicar las 5 agnas. Realmente en cualquier sitio donde estemos podemos aplicar las 5 agnas, pero alrededor del Gnani parece que es más fácil. Sorry, continue.
Yes, it's fine, my dear. The Gnani is the living representative of our Gnani Purush Dadashri. You see, he is not giving anything except more Dada and more Dada to you from morning till evening. All his answers are tailored. His role is specific tailored answers for people who cannot see it. People who have been given this complete beautiful Amapura, and yet they slip into, I've got this problem and I've got this problem, and what shall I do, you see? What shall I do, you see? Then through the Gnani, through his, his knowledge of the situation specific to that person, he will say, okay, do this or do that, But ultimately, the message is settle the file with equanimity. Make sure that you do not hurt anyone. And if you feel hurt in any situations, it's because you got yellow glasses on. You say, remove the yellow glasses and it is not there. There is no one who is getting hurt. It's your way of looking at it that is wrong, yes, you know. So the role of the Gnani is to continuously remove the tinted glasses that exist over you in discharge, you see, having awakened you to the magnificent family of Dada, Mahatmas now, you see. Okay. Go on. Yeah.
Okay. Y tenemos al Gnani vivo, tenemos a Pujasri, que es el representante de Dada. Y si alguien tiene dificultades, si tiene algún problema, ¿cómo hago esto? ¿Cómo lo resuelvo? Le puede preguntar a él y él te puede indicar lo que es más adecuado. Y además, pero siempre al final dirá, resuelve tus archivos con ecuanimidad, pero en lo relativo te podrá indicar, ¿no? Y también te introducirá en esta maravillosa familia de Dada, en esta familia de mahatmas.
Yes, and the Gnani is defined as the one who revives and makes the Gnani alive. In other words, Gnani is defined as the one who makes you a Gnani, makes you a Gnani, you know, because the rest of the world is immersed in agnan, in ignorance. I am doing this, she did this to me, he did it to me, they did it to me, and there is no escape from that, you see. Now the role of the Gnani is to really make you a Gnani, really, make you still in who you are, you know, make you absolutely still and strong in who you are, because that's the only place of absolute power and strength. That is your home. That is who you are, you see, you know. Gnani revives and makes alive the words of Gnani Purush Dadashri. That is the experience of our parayans. Every sentence is read and it's as if Dada is present, you see. You know, Dada is speaking, you know.
Dice Sudha que el Gnani es quien te hace Gnani. Es el único que te va a hacer quien realmente eres. El resto te va a involucrar en lo mundano, te va a involucrar en lo relativo y es quien te va a mantener fuerte en esto. Es el único lugar que realmente es fuerte. Y además con él las palabras de Dada se vuelven vivas de nuevo, ¿no? Todos lo hemos experimentado en Parayan, como parece que Dada estuviera hablando a través de él realmente.
You know, so with your permission, I go, if there's, you know, these words of Dada grow within us at a very subtle level, you see. At a very subtle level. It is not, they are not being received at the level of the intellect. These satsangs of Dada are an internal thing, you see. It's an internal growth of the self only, you know, and the establishment and more cementing into who I am and what is all this in front of me, you see. I move forward, you see, so go on, and then I will move forward into the same satsang of June 28, 1970, you see.
Dice Sudha que con nuestro permiso va a continuar en las palabras que dijo Dada en Bombay en junio de 1978, porque estas palabras realmente crecen dentro de nosotros y es como si crearan una raíz en nosotros, una raíz del ser, obviamente del ser real, y es lo que nos establece en el Nan.
Yeah, you know, one very specific way to really approach Pragnya is not some other force that is coming to help you. This is you. It begins the moment you say, who am I in all of this? You know, there's problems going on in front of you, whether it is in the office or at home. And if the who comes in, who am I? Ev Swama Pura, Soyama Pura, then Pragnya is already there. The Pragnya is already there. Your Pragnya is in operation. The moment you say Soyama Pura, you see, Shuddha Chu, I am pure. Shuddha Chu, I am pure. You see, I'm pure. And then wherever you look, the light of your light begins. Infinite vision, infinite darshan, infinite knowledge, infinite energy, and infinite bliss. It's available to you the moment you become who you are, enter into you are. Don't slip. In other words, that is who you are, but you slip, and that is why we are in this satsang. You see, we don't want to slip in this. Who am I in this? Then you recognize that this neighbor of yours was lost for an hour into doing, something that is part of the program, washing the car or, trying to run around in the car to try to get something or the other, this is all happening. This is happening. The real happening, the real that does not go away is when you come home to these words of Dada, just by opening 1 or 2 pages of Dada. There you are again, in the exact Pragnya. Now you're sitting now with Dada's Pragnya and receiving with your Pragnya. You're sitting with Dada's Pragnya, Damian, and you're receiving with your Pragnya, The intellect is, and the ego, the world is closed. The intellect ego world is closed. And it's Dada and me and Dada,
Dice que, y esto es lo que nos hace que cuando tenemos una dificultad en la oficina o en casa, entonces nos planteamos, ¿quién soy yo en todo esto? ¿Qué pasa? Dice, en esta situación Pragnya surge y nos dice lo que realmente somos. Nos dice, Vishuddhatma, soy puro. Y además no solo soy puro, sino que soy conocimiento infinito, visión infinita, dicha infinita, energía infinita. Soy todo eso. Y todo lo demás es relativo. Y te dice, no te duermas. No vuelvas a dormirte. Por eso estamos en Satsang, porque no queremos volver a dormir. Dice, quizás este vecino, este archivo 1, está haciendo está siguiendo el programa, quizás lava el coche, lo que sea que está haciendo. Pero nosotros no somos eso.
Yeah, at the most you can instruct. At the most you can instruct the neighbor to say that, watch out, this is a difficult file, and looking back in the past, we have seen how you tend to react. So this time, be more aware of who this person is in front of you, and that awareness is associated with seeing the Amapura in that person, you see. So be careful, you say, that's all,
Quizás tengamos un archivo difícil o una dificultad grande, entonces, y entramos en algún tipo de casaido, nos enfadamos, entonces solamente bueno, la próxima vez, y quizás nos pase 10 veces, pero la próxima vez voy a intentar que no pase, voy a intentar ver el alma pura en la otra persona. Sudha, I have a question, sorry.
Yes, go on.
Because I have a big file for Laura, and I don't know what I can do, because always I involved in anger, and loud and hurt another person. And I do pratikraman, but again and again come. So I don't know how to. Le estoy diciendo a Sudha que tengo un archivo que yo considero muy grande porque entro en ira con él y da igual las veces que haga pratikraman, vuelve Laura a entrar en ira. Entonces esto me preocupa hasta cierto punto, ¿no? It's worry a bit because, wow, I am a Mahatma and the another person is not Mahatma. So it's bad.
No, in fact, that is why it is good. You see, the first is the recognition that this is a sticky file, okay? And sticky files require more energies from your side, you see. And every time you settle that file, because that file is long in terms of timing, but every time you settle one interaction with that file with equanimity, every time, inside the energies are building up. That's one thing. And the other thing is that your intention is to settle that file, to allow that file to settle with absolute equanimity. You do not want to get upset with that file. So the recognition, so you're already in the agnas of Dada. Now it is Laura that is reacting to that file, not you. You see, that separation has to be there, you see. It's Laura who reacts, you see. And that reactivity is programmed in discharge. You do not take any ownership of that. It's Laura is your file, and every time this happens, you're upset, but how long do you want to continue with it? That's much. All you have to kind of tell Laura, do not take any ownership of this is happening to me.
Yeah. Yes, because I feel guilty because I involve and
the involvement,
don't realize that is not mine.
Yeah, the involvement is programmed, my dear, from past life. The involvement is the Vyavasthit is such, the unfolding is such that it is associated with involvement. You, the pure one, are not involved. You recognize that I'm not involved. I can see everything. You are not involved because you can see everything. If you want to write down all the incidences, you'll be able to write down in deep detail about it, you see. And yes, so you are not involved in this, you see. It is happening to Laura, and you really need to have that exactly within you, you see.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Sudha dice que lo más importante es que es Laura la que está haciendo esto, no yo, y que además yo estoy siendo consciente de que esto es dañino, de que esto no es lo correcto, y tengo la intención completa de no dañar al archivo. Entonces, pero Laura sigue enfadándose. Entonces es observar que es Laura la que se está enfadando, que además cada vez dice, este archivo puede ser muy largo en el tiempo, pero cada vez que sucede una interacción y Laura se enfada, hay una energía dentro que se construye para que esto no vuelva a suceder, aunque a Laura le parezca que no. Entonces, y la intención es realmente no dañar al otro. Y Laura está programada para hacer ese enfado. Eso es la realidad. Entonces, es mantener la separación. Y el no poder mantener la separación también es el programa de la vida pasada. Entonces, es intentar permanecer en el no hacedor. No soy yo quien está haciendo esto, es Laura.
Yeah, so this is why this Pragnya is so important, that with all these discussions that we had, you do not slip from who you are in this. In other words, now recognize that this is the discharge of Laura, and if you can see the discharge, then you are free. You have to see the discharge with this awareness, that this is how it's programmed. If you want to proceed one more step, then you have to kind of sit down in Samayik and say, what's going on with this file, Laura? Why, you can say, okay, Laura, here I am now. I am the pure one. I have got infinite energy. I am full of bliss. I am the blissful one. You do that vidhi before the Samayik, and then you sit down and tell Laura, I'm here now. Let's look at what's happening with this file. Why is it happening over and over again? Is there something inside you, Laura, that is making this happen? This is the important part. Now you find out the reasons why Laura reacts this way with this file. ¿Sí?
Dice que una cosa que se puede hacer es ver cada vez que hago pratikraman, entrar realmente en introspección, ¿no? Y entonces sentarse, primero hacer el vidhi y después sentarme y decirle a Laura, yo estoy aquí, soy el que es puro, el que tiene infinita dicha y estoy aquí para que veamos qué es lo que está pasando, cuál es la razón detrás de que te sigas enfadando con este archivo y entrar en el detalle, en el más mínimo detalle de por qué esto está sucediendo.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
This is so helpful, Shuddha. Thank you.
Right, and also,
Yeah.
the file is considered, one time you like it, another time you dislike it, you see. It comes and, it's always there. That is the nature of the sticky file, But the sticky file resolutions will happen best if you remain who you are, like if you remain as the mama or and say, tell little Laura, okay, your account, so don't get upset. This is yours that came, and now only then you'll be able to see the pure one in the other person. You see,
yeah.
The pure one that he is flawless. It's not somewhere or somehow. Laura is seeing faults in that other person, you see.
Yeah, yes, sure.
Yeah, so then that needs to be cleared, Yeah. But just by the evidences of flawlessness, all the various evidences of the flawless vision that we have in the book, when we are going underlining line by line, all of those, show Laura those things, He is flawless. You see, so not only are you the Amapura, I'm pure soul, but he is flawless. You have to Laura in what way he is flawless, the other person is flawless.
Dice que es importante que se puede hacer como una madre, ¿no? Una mamá y Laura es la hija. Entonces, ven, Laura, ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué esto no es correcto que te enfades, qué hay detrás, qué sucede. Y porque la otra persona, no solo yo soy alma pura, sino que la otra persona es impecable, no tiene ninguna falta. Y está claro que Laura está viendo algún tipo de falta en la otra persona para enfadarse así. Y yo le digo que sí, que por supuesto veo todas las faltas. Entonces esta es lo importante. Y también como mostrarle a Laura las frases que aparecen en el libro de la visión impecable, porque hay evidencias de que la otra persona es impecable. Entonces es mostrárselas poco a poco.
And also at other times you can, when the file is coming or, you just ask Dada, oh Dada, dearest Dada within me, this file is coming again and I can tell that these things may happen. Grant me the absolute energy to settle this file with equanimity. Just ask that much, you see. And, then whether there is a conflict or a fight or verbal, you're not responsible, You recognize that you were never planning to be there and you are not in it, and the event happens and it goes away, you see.
Y también pedirle fuerzas a Dada. Dada, este archivo vino de nuevo, por favor dame la absoluta energía para poderlo resolver con ecuanimidad. Y si aún así algo sucede, yo no soy responsable de ello. No estaba planeado, no estaba planificado, no era mi intención, entonces no soy responsable de ello.
And and then, the pratyakyan with that other person, the amapura of the other person is so important. Oh Lord, within that person, grant me the energy not to repeat these mistakes. Now, this thing might seem like words, but they are not words. They are the words of the Gnani Purush, the Lada, the liberator, you see. They, it comes with absolute love, he's saying, you're saying, oh my Lord, within that person, please, you give me the energy, you give me the energy. You are asking energies from two different sources. One, your own absolute one, and also you are asking the energies from absolute one of the other person. So two people, you are asking the energies, Two absolute locations,
Ya. Y dice, y no solamente pedirle fuerzas a Dada, al mi ser interno, sino también es muy importante practicar el pedirle al alma pura de la otra persona, no solo pedirle perdón, sino también pedirle fuerzas para que esto no se vuelva a repetir, también al alma pura de la otra persona, y no hacerlo como repitiendo, como de cabeza, ¿no? Como con intelecto, sino hacerlo con amor absoluto, de realmente sé que está ahí, ¿no? Realmente es al alma pura de la otra persona, lo siento mucho, dame la fuerza para que esto no pueda suceder, pero con amor real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Says somebody else is saying something? No. Okay. All right. So the Dadashri goes on to say on that same day, one more thing. My Gnan, this Gnan, is such. He's telling those men around in Mumbai, just imagine the situation. There are men and women sitting in India of 1970 where, you're not supposed to touch any woman except your own wife, or your, somebody that is yours, considered yours. So, it is that context that Dada is talking. He says, my Gnan is such that even if you walk around with a couple of girls around you, or ladies, put your hands on their shoulders and walk around in the street, you see, holding them like this, and you walk in public, even then it will keep you a sparsh. It will keep you a sparsh. I need to give you this word, sparsha. Sparsha means touch, touched, and everything that the touch implies, you see, sparsh. And when you put an A into it, a sparsh, sparsha means untouched. In other words, this Gnani is so powerful and so magnificent that even if you are walking around, people will say, "Whoa, look at that man! He's walking around with, with his hands, over around ladies, It will not touch you. In other words, it will not affect you, not by what the people are saying. It will not affect you from inside. There will be no vikar arising within you. The self will remain the self, There is no difference whether you're putting your hand on a man or whether you're putting your hand on a woman, you see.
Dice que imaginemos la situación, ¿vale? Dada está hablando en Bombay en 1978, donde tú no podías tocar a ninguna mujer que no fuera la tuya, que no fuera tu esposa, ¿vale? Esto era impensable, incluso a tu esposa, ¿no? Pero mucho menos a otras. Entonces Dada dice esta frase, ¿no? Dice, mi nan es tal que si vas caminando por la calle en público agarrando a dos mujeres, que ninguna de las dos es tuya, incluso entonces nada de lo que los demás puedan decir te tocará, te afectará. Dice, da igual lo que digan, porque todos van a decir, oh, mira, ese hombre va agarrando a dos mujeres en público, ¿no? Es terrible. Dice, pero el ser permanecerá sin afectarse, nada le tocará.
This is magnificent. This is what Dadashri has given us, and this is who we are, you see. But you see, this Dadashri says, this is an exceptional path. This is a path of exception, and this is the lift mark. This is you have been lifted up from all of this sense of I touched and I'm being touched. I got touched the right way and I got touched the wrong way. Somebody touched me in a bad way. All of this thing that the world is so gripped by right now. The world is so sensitized, that you can't even touch your own daughter or or your own granddaughter, without people saying, hey, somehow it's not right. This is crazy world right now that we are living in.
Dice que por eso Dada dice que este es el camino excepcional, ¿no? El camino del ascensor que nos lleva arriba, que nos saca. Dice, nada te tocará. Dice, incluso si alguien dice, oh, esta familia es extraña porque toca a su hija o a su nieta, porque la toca de cariño, ¿no? Dice, incluso si dicen eso, no te tocará, no te afectará.
Mm-hmm. Yes, amazingly worth reflecting about. There is this sentence of Dada, is one sentence of the Siddh Stuti, which is not commonly included. It's a Dada sentence, okay? That I am so subtle. I'm subtle. I have never enjoyed sex. Sex and sexual enjoyments are at the gross level, I am not the enjoyer of any sex, nor am I the sufferer of any sex, you see. This is the absolute state in the vision of Lord Krishna too. He had many queens, you see. And yet in all of them, he was absolutely alipt nirlep, absolutely nirlep, you see.
Dice, hay una frase de Siddhastuti que habitualmente no se comparte, es que yo soy sutil y yo no tengo absolutamente ningún disfrute sexual por la sexualidad, absolutamente ninguno. Y dice que este era el estado de Lord Krishna, ¿no? Que tenía muchas esposas, pero él continuaba absolutamente desapegado, absolutamente nirlep.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you a final sentence and then we close, and there are many. The satsang continues like this only. Dada was just flowing with his words. Dada would continue to flow with these words. I'm jumping a few paragraphs and I'm coming to Dada. She says, not even one fraction, tiny fraction of Maya, M-A-A-Y-A, Maya means this illusion that takes over, that I am this body, this is my world, I am doing it, I am enjoying, I am suffering. That is Maya, right? The illusion that I am Laura, you see. That she says, not even one fraction of this illusion, Maya, can enter where the Gnani Purush is. Where the Gnani Purush is, not even one tiny bit of Maya can enter.
Dice, hay una última frase de Dada Dice, porque si no podríamos estar todo el día en Satsang, porque las palabras de Dada siguen fluyendo, porque están vivas. Entonces la última frase de Dada es sobre Maya, la ilusión. Dice, y Dada decía, ni una sola fracción de lo más pequeño de Maya puede tocar a Dada, puede tocar al ser.
Yeah, he says, where not even a fraction of Maya enters, there only one person exists, and that person is a Gnani Purush. You see, in his environment, Maya does not enter, you see. And because Gnani Purush has destroyed Maya's premier son, which is ego. Gnani Purush has killed the son of Maya, through which everything operates, and that son is ego, you see. And once the ego dies, everything dies, everything dies. This is how Dada has broken this, how Dada has broken this Maya. Maya cannot enter where the ego has been absolutely broken. We have been disconnected from this ego, my friends, at the subtlest level, and now whatever ego is left is discharging, that is all.
No solamente ni una sola fracción de Maya no puede entrar en Dada, sino también en nosotros. ¿Y por qué? Porque Dada ha eliminado, ha roto al hijo de Maya, y el hijo de Maya es el ego. Y eso es lo que ha hecho Dada por todos nosotros en el nivel más sutil, el que no tengamos ningún ego, y cualquier tipo de ego que parezca que permanece es solamente descarga.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And he said Maya therefore is defined as ignorance of the self. Wherever there is ignorance of, wherever there is no knowledge of the self, who am I? That is where Maya exists, you see. And for us all, that has been removed eternally, permanently, absolutely. You see, this is how, ignorance does not exist where I exist, where you exist, where each one of us exists. You see, Soyama Pura, there is no ignorance. It's gone. Maya is gone,
Y Maya es la ignorancia del ser. Entonces Maya no puede existir donde cualquiera de nosotros existe. Donde nuestro ser real existe, es imposible que exista, porque no tenemos ignorancia de quién somos. Entonces no es posible.
Vishuddhatma Bhagavans, all you beautiful ones, wonderful ones who have been established in Pragnya, my highest namaskars to all of you, and our namaskars to
highest namaskar.
Yeah, right, to our dear Marcella, who is translating the words, and also to our dear Laura and all of you, for your presence here in this, which makes it satsang. You see, your presence makes it satsang.
Mis más elevados saludos a todos vosotros, porque sin vosotros este satsang no tendría lugar.
May the Pragnya Vignan, may the Pragnya
que Pragnya permanezca en todos vosotros.
Yes, all right. Jai
Sachidanand, thank you.
Gracias.
Jai Sachidanand.
Gracias. Lauri, Marce, gracias.
Gracias, Laura.
All right, everyone, Jai Sachidanand.
Thank you, Laura.
Laura, thank you.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.